Hi, I'm Katie, and I recently read Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton and watched the movie Jurassic Park for the first time. So, like the noob that I am, I spent 24 years on this planet without watching Jurassic Park. So, every time I would tell somebody that, I would either get laughed at, yelled at, or just general confusion in return. So I was like, you know what? It's time. I started by reading the book Jurassic Park, and then I watched the movie like the day I finished it or the day after I finished it. I don't remember. So this video is going to be about some of the differences between the book and the movie that I noticed and what version that I prefer. Because I feel like I can't quite figure out if I like the book or the movie more. I don't know. Maybe I'll decide by the time I'm done talking about the differences between them and what I liked, and then I'll realize what I liked more. I don't know. I guess there's parts of both that I like. So yeah, let's get started. So one of the first differences that I noticed between the book and the movie is the general characterization of Dr. Grant. He's one of our main protagonists in both versions, and one big difference between both versions of him is that in the books he likes kids, and in the movies he at first doesn't really like them. So when he meets Timmy and Lex, he's in the movie he's just like, get away from me, child, like, what are you? I don't know how to speak to mini humans. And then in the book he just kind of is like impressed by Tim's knowledge of dinosaurs. So it's just a very different start to him and how we get to know him from our first impressions of him. I think I like the movie better because you got to see how he gradually cared more and more about the children throughout the events of the film. I just thought that was a more interesting character arc for him, and it made him feel almost more human than the book. I think I preferred his characterization in the movie overall. In the book, I felt like I didn't really care about him. And in the book, he just kept sleeping the entire time. Anyone else notice that? Anytime something happened, he'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go back to sleep and wake up. Like, that made no sense. Like, they were stuck in the dark where there was no power in the whole park, and they were almost eaten by a T-Rex, like, a second ago. And then finally the lights come on. He's like, okay, let's go back to bed. Like, you were just scared for your life in, like, the dark. And now you can see and you're like, okay, I'm going to go back to sleep? Like, get the hell out of there. You're going to get eaten by a dinosaur. What are you doing? And then there was another time, I don't remember, but he just slept for no reason. I think I don't remember if they were in a tree or a boat, because I know they were in a tree in the movie too. But there was one time they were like, they had time to try to get out of there. He's like, all right, let's go to sleep. Like, you were just sleeping. You think you're at like a 5-star resort? No, you're running for your life from dinosaurs who like to eat people. And you're just going to sleep? Like, if you're sleeping and the dinosaur comes to you, you're gonna know. And I don't think they're actually like stuck in the park for that long. I don't think it was 24 hours. So I think that's an acceptable time to pull an all-nighter when you're trying not to die. So yeah, moving Dr. Grant is better, in my opinion, than book Dr. Grant. Another big difference is the age and characterizations of the children. So in the books and the movies, we still have Timmy and Lex, but in the books, Timmy is the older sibling, and in the movies, Lex is the older sibling. In the books, Timmy is kind of a more... I mean, he's still, you could tell he's a kid, but he's more mature, in my opinion, than he is. That's Toby. I heard him this time. So yeah, if you don't know, there's a video of mine. I don't remember which one it is, but I uploaded it like a little while ago, and Toby was chirping for like 3 minutes, and I had no idea. And everyone thought their computers were broken or something. But yeah, I heard him this time. So you don't have to point that out to me this time. Anyway, in the books, Timmy is more mature. Even though he's still a child, he's more mature. And Lex is a whiny little girl in this book. Almost like couldn't... Every time I saw her speak, I like had to skim it. It was just annoying me. They were almost eaten by the dinosaur. She's like, Dr. Grant, I'm hungry. I'm like, you could eat later when you're not dying. Like, I guess she's a child. Was she, like, maybe 8 or 9? Like, I feel so bad being mean to this girl. But it was just too childish. I feel like Crichton wrote her as a 5-year-old or something, but she's supposed to be a little bit older than that, and it just kind of took away from the high stakes of the book. It just didn't feel as intense as it was supposed to be. And in my opinion, that made the book a little bit less enjoyable than it should be. I think it's a big reason why I gave the book 4 out of 5 stars instead of 5. I mean, no, it wasn't just that. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't a fanfare. And then in the movie, Lex is the older sibling, and she's so cool. And then they made Timmy annoying. Like, can't you just make them both cool? So yeah. I mean, movie Timmy wasn't as annoying as book Lex. I'll give them that. But they just kind of made him so childish, and that kind of annoyed me. I mean, he was fine. I wasn't, like, annoyed by him. But it felt a little weird to me that they did that. I don't know. Anyway, movie kids better than book kids, definitely. Hands down. Another difference that I noticed is the science. It was obviously more explained in the book just because there's more time and room to do that. And I found it really fascinating. And, like, I obviously knew it wasn't real, but it felt so real to me. And, like, especially as, like, I work in the healthcare field, so I'm, like, familiar with, like, science. And I was really interested. It made me, like, want to, like, learn about DNA and stuff again. In the movie, it is explained, though. Like, I'll give them that. They found a way to do it. And I think Mr. DNA is so cool. And I wish he was in the book because that just made my day. I felt like I was in, like, a Disney ride pre-show, you know? Yeah, I really enjoyed learning about the fake science of dinosaurs. So another difference that I noticed right away is Ian Malcolm. So I feel like his personality stayed the same for the most part. But in the book, he's balding. Like, I've talked about this with Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. Like, how do you picture a balding Jeff Goldblum? You can't. I mean, I know this book was obviously written before they even thought about making it a movie and casting Jeff Goldblum, but, like... And I haven't even seen the movie when I was reading the book, but I obviously knew Jeff Goldblum played him because I didn't live under a rock that much, and I love Jeff Goldblum. And I just couldn't do it. I pictured Jeff Goldblum the entire time. I had to. And I found his character to make the entire story. He was great. And especially, like, in the book is, like, as he was descending into, like, sort of, like, madness, I guess, because he was dying. It was so cool. I mean, not cool that he was dying, obviously, but I liked seeing that, like, slow decline in his mental state. And, yeah, and I was very surprised that he died in the book because I did know that Jeff Goldblum played him. Like, how do you kill Jeff Goldblum? But I know that I saw a spoiler for The Lost World, and I know, but yeah. I liked both, honestly. There's pretty equally. So yeah, I'll make that one a tie. If I had to pick, I'd say the movie just because he's Jeff Goldblum and he wasn't balding. So yeah. Another character difference is Dennis Nedry. I found that they made him into, like, a comic book villain more in the movie. And then in the book, he was still, like, a dumb villain, I guess. But you learned a little bit more about his intentions and why he did what he did. So I guess that was more interesting to me. And his death is a lot more gruesome in the book. Which I literally gasped when I read it. I was like he does get spit on by that dinosaur whose name I can't pronounce. But then, as he's like, I'm blind, oh my god, the dinosaur rips his stomach open. He's like, I feel something. And he's like, oh my god, that's my intestines. And then he dies. Like, that was, not that I like reading about people dying. I'm not sick. But I that just made the stakes like so high for me in the book, and it made me want to read like so much. So I'm gonna pick book Dennis. I also noticed in the movie they combined some characters, which I didn't expect. Like in the movie when, what's his name, Donald, he runs away and the kids are like, oh my god, he left us. Like in the book, it's not him that does it. I think the guy's name Ed, and he's head of PR or something. And either way, so like the lawyer doesn't die in the book. He's there the entire time. And I'm like, how do you just erase that character? But like at the same time, I didn't miss him. It was weird. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I can't pick. But either way, it's totally messed up to leave 2 children to defend themselves in front of a T-Rex. Like, what an ass. So a major character difference is John Hammond. In the movies, he's this old man who at first he's like, I want this to be a cool tourist destination. But then when he realizes people are getting hurt and dying like a normal human being, he's like, okay, shut it down. And the book, he's like, no, I want my money. And he just lets all these people die. And he's like, whatever, this is my park. We're not going to do anything to make it safe. I want authentic dinosaurs. And authentic dinosaurs maybe kill people sometimes. Like, what kind of sicko is like, yeah, I'm going to make all my dinos violent when there's an option to not, because Dr. Wu is like, I can make them nicer. And he's like, nah, that wouldn't be real. It's like, who do you think you are? But he's like trying to play God in the book. It's ridiculous. But it also makes the book, that's what also makes his book character better. Because we need a villain. And in the movie, they kind of just made the villains the dinosaurs, which, I mean, they're just following their instincts. They're like, ooh, food. So obviously they're going to go after the humans because they think that the humans are prey. So it's not like a real villain, you know? Like in the book, we have Hammond as this person who doesn't feel things for other people and just wants to do anything to reach his goals. And that is more fascinating to me than how he was in the movie. Yeah, I liked book Hammond better. I want a villain. I like villains so much. And the movie was kind of lacking that, in my opinion. I mean, I guess you had Nedry, but like, do you really count him? He was annoying. I mean, I guess he caused everything to happen, so I guess he is the villain. But like, I want layers, you know? I need layers. And the movie didn't give that for me. The next difference kind of continues how I feel about Hammond in the book. And the movie didn't have a species of dinosaur that the book had, and I found that this species was pretty important. And that would be, let me try to pronounce this. I'm going to have to look. There's no Procompsognathus? Procompsognathus? Is that how you pronounce it? They call them the compies, so I'm just going to say that. But the movie just didn't have them, and I thought they were like so important in the book that I was kind of like, where are these little dinos? They're like a meter tall, I think, or something. And they just weren't there in the movie. So the book actually starts with these little guys who find their way to the mainland, and they bite a child on the beach, and they like find sleeping babies and bite them, which is just doesn't happen in the movie. And I feel like that's what makes the stakes of the book high, because right away you're introduced to like these dinos who are biting people, and then in the book I don't even remember, and then in the movie I don't even remember how it starts. Like, I literally don't remember. So that shows you right there that the start of the book is better. Because if the other one was good, I'd remember it. And then continuing my thoughts about Hammond, in the book, he hears the children playing a recording of a T-Rex roar, so he runs away into the forest, trips, and is wounded so bad that he can't get out of the forest, so he's just kind of laying there hoping someone finds him. And then the compies find him and eat him alive because they're scavengers. And that just felt like a really fitting end to how horrible of a person he was, which is more interesting to me to read about than the movie. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like, not that I want anyone to get eaten alive by scavenger dinos, but that was a good ending, in my opinion. So yeah, I feel like there's equal things I like about the book to the movie. So I don't really know how to pick. I kind of did like reading. No, I liked watching Dr. Grant and the kids go through the dino park more than reading about it. But I feel like the overall story was better in the book than the movie. So I know that's not really a clear answer, but that's what I'm going to go with. But yeah, I finally watched Jurassic Park and read Jurassic Park for the first time. And I had a good experience with it. I'm open to watching the rest of the films. Maybe I'll read the rest of the books, but... Or is there only one more book? I should have looked that up before filming this. But maybe I'll read it too. I definitely would... I think I'm going to watch before I read just because I feel like I'm a little more interested in watching it than reading it just because I have so many books that I have to read besides that. So we'll see. I hope you enjoyed me talking about my thoughts about the book and the movie. If you've liked the videos that I've made so far, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I come up with videos every week about books that I want to read, books that I have read, and more. I'm looking to review more books as well because making this video was a lot of fun. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye!